Mhm.
Particles.
Can I tell you something, Tony?
Don't pretend like I got a choice. Particles. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, 100%. Y'all, good evening and welcome to this week's Wednesday night flight. You got Polymax Particles coming at you. Creative Tony up here in his Steve-Bowl shirt.
Yo.
Beautiful choice of attire tonight, Tony. I like the excitement and energy you're already displaying. What's up, all of y'all on the comments line? I love you guys lined up. And there's a lot of confusion, a lot to get to involving tonight's show, the guests, who's joining us, who's not joining us. And again, as Robert Plant says in Kashmir, all will be revealed. Bam, bam,
There you go.
bam, bam, ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. Anyway, sorry, Tony, a little Kashmir sidetrack there. Hey, so
Never apologize for any Zeppelin reference ever.
I appreciate that. I like to have the right of way when it comes to Led Zeppelin, because the more Led Zeppelin, the better off we're all going to be in the long run. In fact, I believe that if you take daily allotments of Led Zeppelin, you're 9 times more likely to have good health in your old age. I'm buying it. I'm sticking with that as far as I'm
You just said, I believe. It made me think of Cher. Do you believe? And is it in life after love?
Do you believe in life after love, Tony? It's a legitimate question.
Yeah. Do you believe in life after love?
I got to say, let the riffs begin on a Wednesday night. You know what she should have called that song? Do you believe in life after Gene Simmons? Which is another legitimate question, because don't think Mean Gene wasn't dating her in the set. How about listen to Mean Gene like getting around Hollywood in the 70s? Gene.
By the way, you say Mean Gene. I think Mean Gene Okerlund of WWF fame. So I get a little confused. So I had to stop myself for a second.
So you differentiate, Tony. Would you be more comfortable if I said Gene, the God of Thunder Simmons? Is that better?
Gene got a thunder, because Mean Gene is Mean Gene Okerlund in my world.
Fair enough, dude. I don't want any confusion when it comes to the proper Gene identification. Yeah, so Gene Simmons of Kiss. Go to kissonline.com and buy the Kiss urinal cakes.
How do we not have a Gene Simmons soundbite, by the way? When we get the soundboards, we're going to add some Gene sound.
By the way, hey, you guys on the comments line in the audience, thanks for the support of the show. Thanks for all these super contributions. That day is coming a lot sooner than you think, because one soundboard is now in my possession. Creative Tony's is on the way, so we're getting close. Hopefully within the next week or two, we'll be
in flight, shall we say, Paul? In honor of tonight's night flight. Sorry.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do, Tony. Let's do a Longbridge pizza spot. Then we're going to come back.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about we'll get the Tekashi music going. We'll look at the game plan for tonight. And then I want to clear up all the confusion about the guests, because there is a little I'm slightly confused myself, but we'll get through it. By 9 o'clock, we'll have all the answers. And as Plant says, all will be revealed one more time. Okay, so Longbridge pizza. Mike, what's so funny, T?
No, I just love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe. I'm a night owl, man. I'm a night owl. So it's a good vibe already. I love it.
Hey, Tony, quick question before I launch into this Longbridge spot. Now, this is the night flight, and it looks like all our people on the comments line, they get loose. You know, they roll them up. They have a couple cocktails with us, which I encourage. I mean, if you're in the privacy of your own home, you guys enjoy. Tony, question for you. Do you have a cold beverage nearby tonight?
I do right here. I do. I have a Hen House incredible IPA. It's one of my favorite go-to beers. It's just, it's not like super expensive, and it's perfectly priced for just like a weeknight beer. Not weekday, weeknight beer, shall we say.
I understand. Creative Tony, my question is this: when do we commence sipping the said beverages?
I want to wait till our guest comes on, because I think we're going to clank. We're going to do a virtual clank with our guest, I think, because we have a lot to celebrate with our guest, and we tell them about we had to update our guest. We had to update our guest. So
how do you feel about me jumping the gun, maybe taking a sip now?
Oh, well, if you're going to do that, then I'll join you.
I think you should. Yeah, join me, T. Let's just do it. It's been a long day for everybody. Wait till you hear about Creative Tony at the DMV. More on that in a minute. That's coming up. Cheers, Tony. Yeah, I got the Pacifico tonight with the yellow label. We've talked about it. Cheers, right up here to the screen, T, if you could.
Cheers, buddy.
All right, quick sip, and we'll get in a Longbridge. Hold on one second.
Remember, you pour so the foam goes in the glass, not in your tummy.
Look at you, fancy pants with the glass. Okay.
Yeah, well, come on.
Hey, while you're doing that, Tony, let me tell you about
Yeah.
what's going on at Long Bridge Pizza. First of all, the menu is right in front of you all. Check them out, longbridgepizza.com. Place your order, have them drive it right to your pad in Dogpatch. Or I would think, too, they deliver over to the Potrero Hill neighborhood. Neil, if I'm wrong, let me know, but it's so close. I got to think they'll go over to like the Potrero neighborhood as well.
Dude, no question. It's literally next door. So, yeah. And they're all about the hood, man. They're all about the Dogpatch neighborhood. They're all about the Potrero Hill neighborhood. They love it's a vibe, man. And it's a family to them. And I just can't wait to get back in there. I got to give Rising Wolf, one of our listeners, Rising Wolf, some love. He was in there last night and sent me a picture of his wife and 2 kids at Longbridge enjoying a pie. So
bravo, Rising Wolf. You're a man of wealth and taste, like Jagger said in Sympathy for the Devil. You are. You have taste and wealth if you're at Longbridge. All right, Tony, please allow me. Don't get me going, dude. Don't get me into a Jagger thing. I'll do it all night.
And that bass line, man. It's just, I love that bass line too.
Yeah, Bill Wyman, let him go. All right, so anyway, what's going on at Longbridge? We have our opening day party coming up on March 27th, a couple of weeks away now.
Can't wait, man. Dude, we're literally like tomorrow is 2 weeks away.
I know, and Verlander threw 5 scoreless yesterday.
I was going to get into that later
tonight,
that out
there. I know, just throwing it out there gently.
I caught a little Giants fever last night.
A little fever.
Watching Giants A's.
Suddenly, we all love that. We all love Verlander now. He's got a lot left in the tank. As opposed to
I'm not going that far.
Not going that far, but we'll come back to that.
We'll get in there. Yeah.
Pause Verlander. We'll be back to that. So in the meantime, join that vibe tribe and see why. It's serious pizza with the laid back vibe that we all enjoy. I've talked about the playlist, just the atmosphere inside, because it's so cool, man. It's like hanging out in Tony's living room when they're serving pizzas and tapping Pliny. You know what I mean? It's like a great vibe.
Totally. Yes.
Jerry Garcia Band, Grateful Dead, Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stones, Trey Anastasio. Again, Jane's Addiction live. That's the one that knocked me on my A last time I was there. I was like, are you kidding me? You're throwing live Janes at me, dude? I'm a lifer, dude. I'm going to be a lifer with Longbridge, and I hope you guys are too. Get on down there, check it out. Try the Nico Pizza. Try the Chicken Parm Wednesday. Coincidence that we do the night flight on Chicken Parm Wednesday?
Yeah, I know, right? They just served up a bunch of chicken parms today, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, Tony, final thoughts. I'll let you take the mic and speak to Longbridge, and then we'll get it moving.
As I like to say, the proof is in the pudding, but at this juncture, the proof is in the pizza, Paulie, because we have sent, I don't know, like I've heard about probably like around 20 people or so that have reported back to me directly saying that they've been to Longbridge since we've become partners. Seriously. And everybody.
I wasn't laughing at you, T. I'm sorry. I wasn't laughing. I was laughing at Leah Phillips, what she said, but go ahead. I'll get to that in a second.
Nice. And, but everybody has reported back with great reports on their experience at Longbridge. And food, the people, the beers, everything. So, and you talked about Steven's playlist. I want to talk about Karen behind the bar.
Karen
pouring beers. I want to talk about Andre. So it's a good scene there at Longbridge. And it's not just the food, it's the people and the neighborhood and the vibe. It really is a laid back vibe. Good food and the beer. I'm a beer person. You know, as you guys know, I'm a beer person.
Tony.
So
cheers. So final
longbridge.com. Yeah, longbridgepizza.com. And tomorrow is the Detroit style square pizzas, and Dubs are there. Dubs are there tomorrow night hosting the Kings. Paulie will be there. And Steph Curry will be making history. Before you go see Steph Curry make history, going to Longbridge, and the Dubs play. They host the Knicks on Saturday too. So.
Yeah, a couple of nice games. By the way, I just finished watching OKC beat the Celtics in Boston.
And OKC, man,
they're not kidding around. OKC, they're not effing around, dude. That's going to be a tall hill to climb because they believe. I could tell by the way they were playing. They're playing with confidence. Every single shot and pass by Boston was contested vigorously. So I'm just saying, OKC is the real deal. If you haven't seen a lot of them, get ready. They're coming. They're no joke out there.
Dude,
but I enjoyed. Yeah.
Also, Paulie, they did that without Jalen Williams, one of their studs, who went to Santa Clara, dude. So WCC product, who I saw play the Dons a few years ago. And we were like, who is this kid? This kid's phenomenal. And now he is a stud for OKC, and they beat the Celtics without him. That's saying something.
It is, Tony. And by the way, I'm with you, dude. I'm a closet Bronco basketball head. I'm telling you right now, I support the Broncos. I really do. I like everything about Santa Clara.
We got to talk a little WCC hoops later about the Zags. And as much as I hate to say it, I just got to tip my cap and just pay my respect. Like, dude, what they've done in the WCC, because I thought this was St. Mary's year to do it. I thought this was St. Mary's year to beat them 3 times. Dude, no team has beat Gonzaga 3 times in a season since the 1996-97 University of San Diego Toreros, dude. That's 96-97. That's ridiculous. And that's their 22nd WCC title. It's nuts. It's freaking nuts.
Hey, Tony, final word on Longbridge, and then we'll get into tonight's show. No, it's okay. No, it's all good, dude. All good. No bad blood at all. And by the way, DC, I see you as a super Tony. Throw him up there. We'll get to that in a second. But I want to
we'll get right after Longbridge.
Yeah, I want to say that one of our dear friends, Leah Phillips, who will be on hand March 27th. I look forward to seeing you, Leah, big time. I saw it's already gone. It scrolled by, but one of her comments a few minutes ago was, "What?" She goes, "I'm ordering 2 gluten-free pizzas on March 27th." Second sentence, "Watch me put them down." Watch me put them down. Okay, I will watch you, Leah. I might even film it, to tell you the truth. I might.
Hey, Paulie. Yeah. Also, part of the PMP Army, Lily reported back that they deliver out to the Sunset in the city. So if you're on the Sunset, if you're on the Sunset or Richmond, yes, dude, yes.
Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to move back to the city because I want to be in the Richmond and have Longbridge drive to my house. That's freaking amazing.
Isn't that great?
Richmond in the Sunset. That's like an hour away, dude. That's amazing. Well, not an hour, but I'm exaggerating. But that's awesome. Good for you, Longbridge. We'll see you guys at the end of the show one more time before we wrap it up. Okay, so Tony. Do me a favor.
Hold on, Paulie. Let me get DC up there. DC, cheers to your 420, buddy. Cheers to the 420. Thank you, bud.
So for the record, I'm obviously a known advocate of the entire 420 movement, the 420 community. I was like that big famous picture of the 4 soldiers at Iwo Jima planting the American flag. I'm like one of those guys. If they were planting a weed plant, you know what I mean? Like I'm right there, dude. I'm OG. But I got to tell you, DC and other interested parties, I don't partake before shows because I just can't get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. So drinking 1 beer is bad enough for me. So I was just going to say, DC, that contribution will be enjoyed as soon as we turn the mics off tonight. I'll
reward DC. Paulie, might I say, maybe a couple years into the PMP world, maybe we just announce ahead of time. You know what? This upcoming Wednesday night flight, we're going to indulge before the show. Just to let everybody know.
Well, dude, I don't know. I haven't checked the calendar yet, but if 420, whatever day of the week 420 is, we should probably do a show. And maybe that's the one day a year where we'll call it like
you might be onto something.
How about this, Tony? Night flight - Stoner's Delight.
Yeah, dude.
Night flight Stoner Delight. It happens once a year. It's like Halloween. You got to jump on it, man, when it happens. I would ask everybody. Lily, I see you. I used to go to Hippie Hill all the time. Check this out, Lily. Lily's talking about Hippie Hill and
right love Hippie Hill. Haight Street. Love it.
Dude, when my son Tommy was born, we lived right near the Haight back then. I used to take Tommy. He was 7 months, like total hippie stuff. Take him over to the Hippie Hill for the drum circles. He loved it. Dude, he freaking loved it. He'd be running around like hitting bongos and stuff. Like, and I recommend that, great. Tony. You should bring your kids up to Hippie Hill for a drum.
I have, and I wanted. So I was in Golden Gate Park today, Paulie, and I was thinking, God, I got to get the kids up here with skateboards and bikes and just cruise to the park again because it's a great way to spend your day. And by the way, I was outside the DeYoung Museum today. There's a Paul McCartney photography exhibit going on right now from now until June 1st at the DeYoung.
I gotta check that out.
That might be a PMP like field trip, dude, down the road.
Yeah, dude. Like we be getting permission slips for all our listeners. You got to have your parents sign us out from like 9 a.m. to noon. Yeah,
totally. And I don't want anybody trying to like what's it called? You know, when you're trying to transcribe your parents' forge. I don't want anybody forging the signature.
I will
say the thing that's cool, man. The band shell right there outside the DeYoung Museum, across from the Academy of Sciences. This wasn't there when I was a kid, and it wasn't there when I was even in college or after college, but now huge letters on the band shell. It says "Lift Every Voice," and I love that, dude. I took a photo of it. It was great, man. It was just a great day in the park.
Oh, good, Tony. And I want to hear about your day at the DMV at some point. Now, were you at the DMV in the city? Were you on Baker Street?
No, God, no.
I've been to that one. That's no picnic, dude. That's no picnic. That's every man for himself.
The San Mateo DMV is no picnic either. Let's just say
I got to tell you right now, when you go to that DMV in San Francisco on Baker Street, it's like getting enlisted to go fight in Vietnam, dude. It's you dude. First of all, pack a lunch. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere for about 8-9 hours. The numbers, dude, it's as close to living hell as you can possibly experience on planet Earth. It really is.
That's part of Tony's top 3 later, Paulie, if we can get there. Because, dude,
okay.
I mean, it was a wild scene in San Mateo. DMV this afternoon.
So to address the stuff going on right now, and then we're getting into the 49ers, dude. Has anybody not left? Has anybody not left the Niners?
And then there's brand new news, like literally this past hour, dude. Like,
Mac Jones is coming to town, dude. Mac Jones is our new backup quarterback. We'll get to that. We're going to get to all that. But first, I want to talk about tonight's show because we put a tweet out earlier in the day, and we said that Patrick Connor, one of my favorite guys, one of our great members of the Murph and Mac family, he was all set to join us tonight until I got this text, and I'll read it to you.
Nice. This is good. This is
typical pecan form and fashion here. So, where is he? Let me see if I can find. Here we go.
Well, this is because this actually made me laugh inside the DMV because you sent me this text while I was inside the DMV next to two people asleep. Next to me.
Well, naturally. No, of course.
Asleep.
Asleep. And don't make the mistake. Don't make the mistake of wearing headphones or earbuds in the DMV because you'll miss your number and then you're screwed back at the beginning of the line. Yeah, no headphones allowed, dude. Focus. You got to. That's what I said. It's like Vietnam. You got to focus. It's kill or be killed. That's what it is.
Yep.
Tony, from Patrick Connor to all of the audience members tonight. He goes, "Hey, Paulie." This came to me at 2:39 p.m. today because, yes, Patrick was going to join us tonight. Anyway, he says, "Hey, Paulie, I've been in bed since yesterday morning, sick as a dog, bro." Second paragraph. Been hitting the NyQuil and sent an email to Elliot, the owner of the company, asking why my 6 lights haven't been delivered yet, knowing that I'm sick. I'm sorry, but I'm out of it. I need to back out of tonight, but let's do it again soon. I apologize. Blah, blah, blah. I already told him, Pat, don't even worry about it, dude. Get healthy. And there is some nasty stuff going around right now. There's a lot of people are getting sick.
Yeah.
So I'm sensitive to it.
I've been there.
I know.
Hey, in honor of Patrick, any songs about bed that come to mind? Because I can think of UB40 had a song called Breakfast in Bed.
I'll give it to you right now. I'm gonna go with a better track than the UB40 one. It's a Police song called "The Bed's Too Big Without You."
Oh, it's a great one.
It is a great one. It's got that ring. The bed's too big without you.
Oh, dude, Stuart Copeland's on fire in that song.
Off his ass. Oh, Copeland's off his ass in that song.
Yeah.
The bed's too big. Anyway, check it out. Bed's too big without you. Tony.
Oh, dude, Naomi, let's go to bed. The Cure. Great call. Great call. Right. Love it. Love
black
it.
Coffee in bed, Patty. Hell yeah. Black coffee in bed. Good track.
Dude, that's why the PMP Army rules, buddy.
But we've got
things to go. Yeah, go.
I know. Sorry, Tony. I know you're so right, dude. We got to move this thing forward. But then I look over. I see Panaki. Okay. Panaki's coming at me going, guys, what about Midnight Oil? How can we sleep when our beds are burning? Great question. Dude. Great song. Great song, great question. Tony, any reactions? Yeah.
How can we sleep when our balls are burning? Shout out back to way back when.
I did that when they snipped Dibley. Yeah. Dibley had to go to the doctor.
When Dan Dibley got snipped.
How can Dibs dance when his balls are burning?
By the way, I've been snipped, and it's quite an experience. I had to tell my doctor. I told my doctor, please talk to me the entire time, because if I start thinking about what you're doing, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm already getting uncomfortable.
Paulie, I was up in stirrups.
My legs were I don't want it. I don't need it. I didn't ask for it. Give me Patty. Patty's a super. Get her up there. Trying to change the subject. Stirrups, dude. I don't want you in stirrups. I don't even want to think about that. Don't make me see that in my head.
I took a picture of the vas deferens, the portion of my vas deferens that you took
stop
out.
It? I don't want to hear about this. I really don't. I don't want any.
Hey, dude. I'm just telling you. And by the way, if anybody's pondering whether or not to do it, go do it, man. It's like a 20-minute experience. It's not that bad at all.
What about the people that get the procedure done and then they still get their girlfriends and wives pregnant? What the hell's that about?
It's not 100%. That's the
I'd rather avoid any incisions in that part of my anatomy, if you don't mind. Patty,
100%.
You will see that I'm out. Patty, thank you very much for the super donation. And there's another one, Tony. I don't know who it is, but I see.
Yeah, right here. Here we go.
Another name.
Harry Johnson. Hi, Harry.
No, there's another one too. There's another. And Harry, thank you, brother.
Yeah, to play Tekashi. Look what Harry's saying.
It's coming.
Calling out Tekashi. It's coming.
No, it's coming. And did you see Pass Me Another? Make sure you give him some love, or her. I'm not sure what.
Yes.
Dude, for the amazing takeoff. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you. So without further ado, Tony, they're asking for it. Let's deliver. Tekashi awaits.
Oh my God. So here we go.
You're an alpha beta. By the way, what's the odds of Pearl Jam covering that next time they come to the Bay, Tony? A little Pearl Jam cover of Tekashi's theme
Dude, that's
song.
a song at your wedding. You know, you say you and Rags or you and Winks or whoever at weddings would say, yeah, hey, do you know whatever,
Totally.
whatever?
You know anything off Motorhead's second album? Yeah.
Now you got to, hey, do you guys know Tekashi's theme song? Can you give me Tekashi's theme song, please?
Do you guys know Stone Deaf Forever by Motorhead? Yeah, you just got to ask any wedding band or wedding DJ the most crazy metal request and just watch the reaction.
Do you know Lamar Luttrell's Clap Your Hands Everybody? If you know that, that'd be great.
And if you
by
don't,
the way, look at this. Sorry, Paul. This is Patty. We're honoring the supers. And here's one more super from Patty to stop.
I'm with you, Patty. I tried to stop him. I tried to stop him several times. He wouldn't be stopped. Yeah.
But if there's one thing we are on this show is real, right? And so I'm just being real with the people. Just being real with our PMP army, just to let them know that it is okay to do it, and it's not that bad. It's
you know what, Tony, in this day and age of artificial intelligence, you don't even know if you're talking to a real human being. They got robots now picking
right.
I saw robots picking grapes. I'm not kidding. I saw robots picking grapes in vineyards so they don't have to hire work. Like, what is going on? So anyway, to your point about being real, we got no choice. Living in this AI world, I can assure you, Creative Tony and myself, we're genuine human beings. That's a fact. Yeah.
Dude, two things. First of all, is that with the whole process, I just want to say that the actual afterwards, for the few days, you get to milk it on the couch, and you just have the frozen peas, and you just actually.
You got to stop it. She's paying you to stop talking about it. She just gave you $10 to shut the F up, Patty. I'm trying. Patty, don't make me have to mute him. Don't make me have to mute him.
No. But you're talking about robots. Go watch the show Black Mirror. If anybody's seen the show Black Mirror on Netflix, oh man, it's like a modern day Twilight Zone, but way more effed up. And there's an episode about robotic bees. I'm telling you, watch out. But if you like dark, twisted stuff, check it out.
Robotic bees, huh? Robotic bees.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
Black Mirror. Check out Black Mirror. And by the way, here you go. Pine Needle. Welcome back, Pine Needle. Thanks for the super Pine Needle.
Yeah, no, dude, I know. Mac Jones, he's a 49er now, bro. And don't be surprised, because you got to remember back when they drafted Trey Lance, that entire draft period leading up to the actual draft night, they like all signs pointed towards Shanahan taking Mac Jones. And I know Shanahan talked to Nick Saban about Mac Jones, and I guess they had high hopes. So yeah, he's finally a Niner. All right, Tony, the supers are coming so fast, I can't get the show on track. What do we do?
Finally a Niner, and he wanted to get matched up with Kyle Shanahan. And Naomi says, "Here's to keeping it real." Thank you, Naomi.
No, thank you. We're trying. Even Leah Phillips now chiming in. Leah Phillips throwing it down. She's got 5 on it. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you, Leah, for being you. You're the best.
I got 5 on it.
So, Tony, in a very long-winded fashion and a long-winded way of saying, since Pecan is out sick tonight, we reached out to John Lund. He is our brother in all things Bay Area Sports Collective, our new network. I hope you want to check out the webpage, bayariasc.com. It's going to, by the way, dude, I'm already talking to, I don't want to give anything away, but let's
yeah. And on that note, with John Lund too, Paulie, is like, we've been trying to get John on the show for a few weeks now. So it just finally dude, John Lund is a madman. He does a lot of like breaking news stuff where he'll go on. He might go on. He's probably like, damn it, I got to go on Paulie's show. I want to do a live hit about Mac Jones.
Well,
so
he can do it here
about Mac Jones. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, he can do it here and then retweet it and everything. I love John Lund. In fact, I miss John Lund because every day when I was at KMBR, John Lund would come walking in right at the end of the Murph and Mac show, and there was always just a fun exchange. With John, excuse me, he's one of these guys that just comes in with great energy. He's always got like great energy, great vibe, great attitude, and knows his sports like stone cold inside out. He's like a scientist.
If you have to co-host with Greg Papa for years, you better
That's right, John.
You better.
That's right, John. Johnny Lund, what do you think, John? Let me ask you a question about the Niners, John. Anyway, as I love Greg Pop. I'm just breaking his balls.
Of course. By the way, Ian, thank you for the super, Ian. I love it. Stop the snip talk. I'm done. I promise. I'm done. No more. I promise.
I'll cut the crap, you guys. No joke. No pun intended. All right, Tony. So
love it, Ian. Thanks, dude.
Why don't we do this? Do we have time for your top 3? Will you want to get that in real quick before?
John we could. As long as we're, this is going to be a test. Okay,
let's get it going, because I know when John comes, we're going to talk a lot of Niners. I want to talk about all these people coming and going. So let's do a quick top 3, and then we'll bring in John. Yeah.
Tony's top 3.
I mean, we haven't fed the ducks in a while either, man. So
I miss it. I do.
Tony's top 3.
So we'll get the ducks going right here one more time.
Tony's top 3.
Hell yeah, man. Hells yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Feed him, baby. Feed him. Got to feed him.
Hell's with a Z, by the way, right?
Hell's with a Z. Feed him. Don't impede him, Tony. That's what I like to say.
Dude, I love Rags. Rags is probably the number one Tony's top 3 like enthusiast. So thank you, Rags. I appreciate
Thank you,
that,
Rags.
brother.
No, Rags for life, dude. Rags for life.
And also Karen checking in.
Karen, I
still
love those red glasses, Karen. I still love those red glasses. I might need to get it. Although I don't think I'm
shades
cool.
and red sunglasses.
Yeah. Come on, T.
Yeah, well, I love the top. I love ZZ Top. I mean,
what's in your top 3, kid?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant top 3 ZZ Top songs.
No.
Sorry.
You're all right.
We got 5 minutes till Lund.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Let's go. Up tempo, baby.
Number 1.
Yes.
So the news with Mac Jones. He is now the backup quarterback for the 49ers. A 2-year deal, $7 million, $5 million guaranteed. He wanted to get linked up with Shanahan. Well, you know what? You got it, Mac, okay? The Mac attack is here. Are they going to have like a Mac land like they did in St. Louis for Mark McGuire, the big Mac land? But that's not my question. My question is, there was other chatter about Jameis Winston being the backup QB. I wonder how you feel about, would you have rather had Jameis Winston as the backup, or are you happy with Mac Jones as the backup for the Niners?
Wow, I like that question. You might not like my answer, but I'm just going to give it to you real. I'm going to keep it real. Once again, Naomi, keeping it real, keeping it authentic. Got to keep it real. I'm going to say that I would have preferred Jameis, to be honest with you, and I'll explain why. I really liked what I saw from him last year. It seems like he has kind of gone through like a metamorphosis and grown up a little bit. Let's face it, he was a pretty immature kid when he came out of school and started trying to make it in the pros, but he got humbled. And I think that he sees this is no cakewalk in the NFL, and he became a good player, a team player, a guy that seemed to enjoy being around his teammates. He became a leader of sorts. We enjoyed his videos during Super Bowl week. He was driving that cab around,
totally
bicycle cab in New Orleans. So, and Mac Jones, like, no disrespect to Mac Jones, maybe there's a lot of potential there, but what I saw in New England hardly impressed me. I mean, and Belichick gave him a lot of rope, dude. He said, go earn this job. You're my starting quarterback. Go show it to me. And I never really saw it. So maybe Shanahan could do something with him in that system, Tony. But to answer your question, I think I would have taken Jameis. That's just me.
I think, well, here last year, just so you know, with the Jags, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks, 65% completion percentage, 1,672 yards for Mac Jones. Okay.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston last year, 2,121 yards, 13 TDs, 12 picks, 61% completion percentage. So they're almost similar, very similar numbers for those guys. It comes down to vibe. I don't really know Mac Jones personality-wise.
Yeah.
But I love the vibe that Winston gives.
Me too.
The vibe and dude, tell me a player that's complained about having Jameis Winston as a teammate. You tell me.
I got to say, Mac Jones, I don't know if Mac Jones has a vibe because he's kind of a Boy Scout. You know what I mean? I'm not even sure he shaves.
Right.
Like, he looks such a baby face. But anyway, hey, he's a Niner now, dude. So Mac Jones, come on, dazzle me, baby. Dazzle me. Creative Tony, let's keep it moving.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2. The Dubs tomorrow night. They're back at home. I mean, the homestand continues tomorrow night. They host the Kings. Steph Curry going for 4,000 threes. Exciting stuff. But outside of Steph, Draymond, and by the way, Kuminga's back tomorrow night too. So that's very exciting. And that's gonna be very interesting how he gets into the mix now. Kerr flat out said, "Hey, dude, he's gonna have to adjust to a new role." So that's gonna be very interesting. But your favorite Warrior outside of Steph, Draymond, and Butler at the present moment.
Favorite Warrior outside of Steph, Draymond, and who? Butler?
Jimmy Butler.
Wow. Okay. Well, I like a lot of guys, man. Can I do like?
That's why I asked, because the bench and there's so many people to choose from. You know,
I like Quentin Post a lot for starters.
Okay.
Like, I've really become a big Quentin Post fan. I just like everything about this kid's game, and I think he's only going to get better. I like Trace Jackson Davis a lot. You're not seeing a lot of him lately, but I still think he's going to become a good pro. And I like Pat Spencer. That's like my secret crush.
You're
Pat
a Spencer guy. That's true.
I'm telling you, bro. Watch him ball. When he gets his minutes, bro, he goes nuts. So, same question to you. Go ahead.
Ooh, you know where I'm going. I'm going Moody, dude. I'm going Moody all day.
Yeah, that's right. You're a big Moody guy. Yeah,
dude. He's averaging almost 10 points off the bench. I mean, not off the bench. He's starting some too. I just love the dude's fire, and I think he's benefited greatly from Butler coming over here. And I think he's just going to continue to ascend, as we talked about. Remember Maxwell's ascension? He's on an ascension. And I think it's just going to be, I think it's the whole rising tide lifts all boats. And Butler literally came in on his own boat and jumped from his one boat onto a bigger boat and is now on the Warriors boat. And dude, I mean, I saw a great tweet the other day that had 4 teams. I was like, okay, these are the 4: Dubs, Celtics, Thunder, and Cleveland. Those are the 4 teams that you need to look out for in the postseason. So we'll see. We'll see. It's easy to get very excited, but we'll see.
Okay, T. Gotcha.
So yeah, Moses Moody. I'm down with Moody, and then number 3.
Yes.
Number 3. Quickly, because I was at the DMV today, and I had to go without an appointment. By the way, try to make it.
Oh,
dude, try. Well, hold on. Go look at the DMV calendar anywhere in California and try to make an appointment in the next 2 weeks. Good luck.
Oh no, you got to do months ahead of time, dude. Months.
Good luck. Hey, I'm just gonna plan on having like issues, so I'm gonna book one 4 months down the road. I didn't have an appointment, so I had to go into the no appointment line.
How many hours in total,
dude? We're going the 4-pack, buddy.
Okay, let's up
4
4
hours.
Yeah.
4 hours, and the first hour,
Yeah.
was me waiting outside in the rain and the storm.
Sure.
As they said, the lady would come out and say, "Who's got an appointment?" And then whoever's got an appointment would get pulled in, and then if nobody had an appointment, they'd pull you in.
Shout out Jerry Garcia saying, "Lock me out in the cold, rain, and snow." That's essentially you at the DMV today, standing in the cold rain. It was cold, by the way, too. It was not a pleasant day.
Rags asked the question. Rags, they know they do not snip it at the DMV, but that'd be a good idea, dude. That'd be a good idea. Just kill 2 birds with 1 stone right there.
While you're waiting,
while you're waiting,
get in the stirrups while you wait. Sorry, Patty. I know I can't help it. Yeah,
get in the stirrups, dude. My question to you, Paulie, because there were 2 people next to me, literally hunched over asleep next to me.
Yeah,
while waiting. So I hope they didn't miss their number. I didn't know their number, or else I would have woke them up. So
come on, T-Bone, we got to move. We got Johnny. Yeah.
Once I see him in the waiting room, in the green room, I'll speed it up. He's not in the green room yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Once I get. Remember, Paul, I have access to the green room.
I know, you're in charge, bro. You're Captain Kirk in the big chair. I'm just on board. You're driving this thing.
And also, you guys should see what Paulie lays out in the green room for everybody. It's so nice, Paulie. Great job.
I've got edibles. I've got hot towels with lemon scent. I've got a variety of mixed nuts. I've got fine chocolates. It's up to you, whatever you want to indulge in. Yeah.
Dude, you had lemongrass tea the other day. I was really impressed.
I thought it would be nice. A little lemongrass. It's good for you.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. I want to ask you, would you rather go to, my last question before we get John Lund on the show.
Yes.
Would you rather go to the DMV like I did today, or would you rather go to the dentist? Which one?
Easy. This is an easy one. I'd rather go to the dentist. Let me tell you why. First of all, shout out Dr. Matt Young. The guy's a gangster. Tony, he's been on the Polymac podcast before, Dr. Matt Young. He's he's a San Francisco guy. He's in Union Square. Highly recommended. I'm not kidding, because one of my biggest fears and phobias in life is sitting in the dentist chair. I think it's a result of watching Marathon Man as a kid with that Nazi dentist who was drilling into Dustin Hoffman's head. Is it safe? Is it safe? And he's like, there's no Novocaine. He's just drilling holes in him. The best is when Dustin Hoffman finally breaks, he's like, yeah, it's safe. It's so safe. You wouldn't believe it. Like, he just wants to get the hell out of there. It's safe. It's safe. In any case, I'm like Hoffman in that scene, but Matt Young, Dr. Matt Young, here's what he does when I come in. He's like, what do you want to listen to, Paulie, Matt? Because he listens to the show. He's a friend. Yeah. So he's like... John
Lund's in the green room, so wrap it up, because John Lund's in the green room.
Well, John Lund, I'm going to tell you this as well. Dr. Matt Young is the guy you want to go to. It's much better than the DMV. Here's why. I get to listen to the Rolling Stones. I get to listen to Pink Floyd. One time I listened to a Giants-Mets game in his chair while I got the mask on and I'm breathing in like the gas. Yeah. So it's a pleasant experience now with Dr. Matt Young. So
be truthful, Paulie. Do you ask for extra gas, or do you get a little extra gas from your doctor friend? I don't want to get him in trouble, so maybe I shouldn't ask you.
Good call. No, only by the state regulations is what he allows. So, but it's a very pleasant experience, and I'd much prefer that to the DMV. Thank you, Tony.
Hey, as much as John Lund is enjoying all of our refreshments in the green room, I do want to let him onto the show.
Yes,
it's going to be hard to drag him out, but I want to let John Lund onto the show, ladies and gentlemen. There he is, John Lund.
Yeah, my man.
You know Johnny. What? First of all, I'm honored to be on. But
Yeah.
you know what? I can't believe you guys are talking about this because yesterday, and I'm still sore from it.
Oh, I hear it.
I went to the dentist yesterday, and I went on the air, and I was just all messed up. But what's so funny about it is, hang on a second.
I was all messed up.
Hang on.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, see, I love it.
He's gonna
John's
take
got
like
props.
gauze out of his
John's
mouth. He's
got
got like
props.
gauze. Oh, the poor
No, this is a
bastard.
true story. Look at this. Just to tell you, I'm telling the truth. They give you a gas mask that's yours. It's like vanilla flavored. And the dude gave me that. And look, it says right here, it says my name on it. And it says the date. So it's at
Dude.
310.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my
gave me
God.
that because I got to go back on
Oh.
Monday.
Dude.
And I got to go back. And he goes, so he charged me $100 for that vanilla flavored mask. And he goes, here's your mask. Don't forget it. Because if you don't bring it back, I got to, it was vanilla, mint, or strawberry. I said, I'll take vanilla. So I have this vanilla mask on me.
Yeah.
And he charged me $100 to put it on my
Dude.
face.
Oh.
And here's the part. So I was so I go. I hate the dentist, dude. Like by a million. Like if you don't like a plane, you go to the bar before or whatever. So I go in there, and he starts drilling on my teeth, and I can't. You know, the thing's amazing. I used to have a dentist that, like you said, Paulie, would put the
Headphones.
music on.
Yeah, it helps.
But so he doesn't do that, and so it's like road construction going on in my mouth, and I'm laying there, and it's it's in the back of my mouth, and so the guy just and it's going in right in my ear, and I'm like,
I know.
and I actually asked him because they got that thing that forces your mouth open now.
Yeah.
So. And he's a big talker, of course. So, how's things going?
Yeah, no, I can't say a whole lot. I got a suction thing going. What do you want me to say? Yeah.
Well, that's what he does. And so he starts at, and finally I put my hands up like, I got to talk to you.
Yeah.
I go, do you have any music or anything? Because like you're doing the road construction in my mouth, and it's like it's blowing my mind here. And he said he doesn't, but here's what's so bad, Paulie. So in that mask, I start huffing. I start going like as much as I can.
Oh, you have to.
And he's got the road construction going on. I passed out. And I started snoring. And I wake up. And with that going on in my mouth, because I was sucking in the gas so much, I pass out. I start snoring. And the first thing I remember, like when you wake out of a stupor and you're like, what the hell's going on? He says to me, are you still with us? Are you still with us? And I thought that like I was in the hospital and something had gone wrong.
Like a car wreck.
He's in my face, like this close to my face. And he's like, are you still with us? Like, what do you mean? Am I still with you? Did I die?
I'm gone.
Dude. And so anyway, I have to go back on Monday for more.
God bless
and
you,
it's
John.
just like,
you got to go back for Monday.
That's why
John.
he gave you the mask right there.
Well,
that's
here,
brutal.
let me break this tension with
he
some
brought
comedy.
it to me.
So here's something for you, John. Over in the comments line, one of our great listeners, good friend of ours, Don Peralta, this little Seinfeld connection here. He goes, hey, John Lund, when you woke up, was your shirt tucked or untucked?
I know you've heard those things, right? Where they gas you.
Yeah,
Believe me, look at me. I'm an unattractive man. Like if I was an attractive person, I might be worried about that. Nobody wants anything to do with
Hey,
me.
John, we have supers on the show that want to jump in and get recognized, dude. So pass me another.
Oh,
it's just
very
with
nice.
all caps, Lund.
Yes,
dude,
it's good
great.
to be here, man.
And now that we
Thank
have
you,
John, I
Justin.
would like to propose a toast. Now, John, we only do this on Wednesday night because the other shows we do
I
are
do have
during
a
the day.
cocktail, as a matter of fact.
You're
I do
damn
with
right
left
you have a
boy.
cocktail. John, raise a
Attaboy.
glass. I'd like to propose
Hang
a
on.
toast. This is, get your glass, get all your supplies ready. God,
I
he's
love
huffing on
I
vanilla
love it.
bags. This is my God. Yeah, pour that
Dude,
stuff,
that
Johnny.
boy, John.
Give yourself a
That
nice,
boy, John.
healthy glass after all you've been
Attaboy,
through.
John.
Jesus.
This is
Hey,
a
well,
100
John's-
proof, a little 100 proof here.
Yes, you know what?
Yeah.
You deserve it. You
In my
deserve
Battle of the Bay Cup. This
Yeah.
is my secret stash.
Hey,
By the way,
DC,
there's
thank
you.
a
Wife
new
thinks I'm
Battle
out
of the
here
Bay. There's
working.
did you guys see there's a new Battle of the Bay happening this year with the Oakland Ballers and the San Jose Giants down
is
down
that
in San
right?
Jose. Yeah, they're doing like a battle down in San Jose.
the ballers.
Oh,
Okay.
that's outstanding.
Yeah. And
Well,
I want to
John-
give DC some thanks too, real quick, for the green room honey almonds. Thanks, DC.
Oh,
Thank you, DC.
man.
So, Johnny, let's raise a glass. This is to
Yeah.
you. Thanks for joining us, and
oh,
cheers
Heck yeah.
Pacifico. I like
to
it.
the Bay Area Sports Collective, boys. Cheers.
Yeah, no doubt,
Mm.
man. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I've been enjoying
John.
your show quite a bit, John. I watch it all the time.
Yes.
I was watching Tom Tolbert yesterday too. Was that yesterday? He had Steve Young on. Was that yesterday?
Yeah,
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Dude, amazing.
Well,
Like
no,
this-
he didn't have him on, but Tony, he went to his house, and
Yeah.
I was actually on with Tom, and like his backyard looks like a jungle. Like he must pay
Totally. Yeah.
$100,000 a month just for like the gardeners and the I don't even like I've never seen it looked like he was in like the back plush woods of like Hawaii of Maui or something. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. That
it
place.
is.
So I
It
think
is.
pay attention. I think tomorrow morning there will be Tom Tolbert and Steve Young tomorrow morning on the Tom Tolbert show. I don't know exactly what time, but tomorrow morning I think they were at his backyard. And like you said, John, and by the way, Tom and Steve just hanging out in their backyard. It's a sweet setup.
I might even have a picture. I don't know where my phone is.
I sent Paulie a picture too. Let me see if I can find that picture too.
I did. That's why I thought it was already happening.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Like that's a cool thing that Tom's doing too on the Bay Area Sports Collective. So like every Friday he's doing a backyard thing.
Very cool.
And Ratto looked like he got seriously. Ratto looked like he got put. Dude. So Ratto sat out there for like 3 hours. And they kept asking him, like, do you need sunscreen? Do you want to get out of the sun? Do you need some sunglasses? The dude sat out there for 3 hours and fried. He looked like a lobster. He looked like Mike Shanahan on the Redskins, like in 2013.
He did. And, you know, he's
lobster
also,
face.
Tony, it looks like he's been out on the road with the Dead or something, too. It looks like he's letting the beard grow. He's growing. He's getting his hippie vibe going. Shout out Ray Ratto.
Beard had grown, had burned off by the 3 hours that he was directly in the sun. Like it just burned off his face.
You know what, though, John?
I
was going to say, like, it's cool that we can present ourselves now like that if you want. Sit in your backyard, sit in your office, however you want to. So, John, how are you feeling, dude, about life after terrestrial radio, the transition to Bay Area Sports Collective? Because it looks like you're in your element, bro. When I watch your show, you look incredibly comfortable.
Well, you know, it's nice to be able to finish a sentence. I would say that's kind of nice.
That's right, John.
John.
Hey, John. Question, John. Question, John.
By the way, everybody has a papa, but the most underrated one always was Paulie because I didn't expect it coming. Yeah, and Paulie and I got really close because at the end when they moved us into that radio studio, that you was big enough for like a half of a person.
I still don't understand it. They took us out of a beautiful studio and put us in a broom closet. I'm like, what the hell are we doing this for?
They turfed KGO and they had built all these studios and they're like, well, we have to utilize these studios that we just redid. So they stick us in this studio that seriously is like a closet. It's like office space, you know, and it's like they keep moving the guy. So they move us into these studios that are like a third of as big as the other studios. Yeah. And so I've got to play like, you know, I got to get around Paulie and Murph before I got onto the show, which is fine because all I had to do at 10 o'clock was, hey, good morning, everybody. What's going on, Papa? And then like 30 minutes later, I could go get coffee and whatever. And then done talking. But it was like, it's just to kind of answer your question in a long roundabout way. You know, the thing that's cool, man, is you guys, we can just sit here right now. Like it's 8:41 of the PM and we can sit here and we don't have to break. And we don't have so annoying break. And then you have a program there. So it's going, their best advice is, hey, you got to break. You guys got to break on time. It's like, yeah, thanks for the insight, pal.
Or my favorite one, John, would be something like this. I'd throw out some reference out there and be like, oh, by the way, dude, I just saw like the new Led Zeppelin movie in IMAX. It was amazing. And then after the show, you know, Paulie, nobody knows who Led Zeppelin is anymore. You're going to have to start talking about Katy Perry. And
totally.
Why would I talk about Katy Perry? If I talk about Katy Perry, that would be the most inauthentic maneuver of my life. I got to keep it real. Anyway, John, So,
no, it's just, you know, you don't have a clock. You don't have anybody yelling at you. You don't have, you know, Larry Bear on line 3, even though the Giants are in a 15-game losing streak. And, you know, and you don't have any, you know, so it's like you can say what you want, how you want. Now, look, I'm not going to, you know, my philosophy has always been if I don't go personal on somebody, if I don't do something off the field, then I'm cool. I can explain anything off between the lines. So, but we can say what we want, do what we want, break when we want, drink when we want, take a shot when we want, smoke a joint when we want. Whatever. And so it's like you said, it's the most authentic thing that you can do. And you don't have to talk about things you don't want. You don't have to, like in the morning, what we would do in the afternoon, guys, and you guys all know this, would be like, okay, let's look at the mix today. What do we got to talk about? Who do we, you know, all this kind of stuff. And right now I think people tune in because it's like, whatever is the coolest thing to talk about is what we'll talk about. And it could be the DMV, it could be the dentist, whatever's compelling. And that's what radio, when I've been doing this like 30 years. And when I first got in it, you could just kind of talk what you wanted to because everyone didn't have these different platforms and stages. Mm-hmm. And so like, if you don't talk about something, people will leave you. And I get it. You need to be compelling all the time, but there's enough people who want to talk about what what you're passionate about talking about. So it works out and it's really cool. And my whole thing has just been, it's a lot of fun connecting with people. Like I'm looking in your room and I see some familiar names, but you're connecting, you're building a community. It's like it used to be in radio, but it isn't anymore. So I like it, man. It's like a throwback. It's old school.
And we have one of our commenters saying, "And John, you can curse at will when you if you ever feel like it. Not not unnecessarily."
Let me ask you about that.
You know?
Yeah. Because you know what, my instincts from 30 years, and you guys have been doing this a long time too, of doing this, my brain still like has a stop sign on it, where it's like I don't do it a lot. Like occasionally I will, but like I still don't. And I remember I was at the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and I was on Eric Burns' channel. And his is what is it called?
The Unfiltered.
Yeah. And so we're sitting there, and I can't remember where it was. We're sitting there, and Burns kept saying, "Say fuck, just say fuck, say it." And I'm like, say it. Yeah. I'm like, no, my brain won't let me say it. And he kept, you better say it. And finally, I did. Yeah. And I felt weird about it, but he was like, on our show, every other word basically has to be an F-bomb or whatever. And I was just like, it took me a second because it's like your brain tells, like. I F-bomb 24/7, 365 away from my microphone.
Same here.
But my brain tells me, like, if you're sitting in front of one of these things, you can't. So it's so foreign to me to do it,
No, me too, man. And plus I feel like it never sounds good when you're saying it just for the sake of saying it because you're allowed to now. So I think if it comes up like just in the heat of the sentence or the passion of the topic or whatever, that's cool. But to force it in is not really, and a little goes a long way. Like a couple of F-bombs will go a long way. Like you made your point. You don't want to turn it into like an Andrew Dice Clay show, who I am a fan of, by the way, but that's not what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? So Johnny, I got to pick your brain, bro, on some sports stuff while I have you. And I got to ask you, as a lifelong 49er fan, I've got some questions, and I want you to make sense of this for me. And Tony, jump in on this, please. I know you have a lot.
Of course. Yeah,
but for starters, why don't we just start with the most recent move, which happened today, the Mac Jones to the Niners thing. I'm a little surprised. I don't know the appeal or why they think they're pulling him off the scrap heap is going to help their squad. But I mean, should Brock Purdy go down, you're going to see him. You're going to get Mac Jones. So just give me the John Lund reaction to that piece of news.
Well, you know what's funny is a couple of days ago, I think I was on with Kruger, and he was trying to sell me this whole thing about Justin Fields, and I was like, dude, the last guy that the Niners are going to pick up is Justin Fields. He ends up getting like $20 million from the Jets.
Yeah.
But he's a one read and run guy. And what Kyle wants in his offense is you go through all the progressions as quickly as you can and you get it to the guy that I want it to get to. And if you don't run my offense, then you're out of there. So that's the opposite of Justin Fields. So they were never getting Justin Fields. What I had said to him was, I said, they're going to go get Mac Jones because they love Mac. And so because it was that same draft, right? So the draft went Trevor Lawrence, it went Zach Wilson, it went Trey Lance, and then later it was Mac Jones, and there was that debate that they wanted Mac Jones. So I thought he's cheap. If Brock goes down, as you said, Paulie, he's going to run the offense in the same fashion. Yeah, and so why wouldn't he bring in Mac Jones for incredibly cheap? Because right now any signings the Niners have are garage sale varieties. So it made a lot of sense, and Krug kept pounding the table for Justin Fields, and I go, ain't no way Justin Fields is coming to the Niners. It's just he's not. They tried the Trey Lance thing. It bombed. Right. And Fields is one read and run, and Kyle would literally run onto the field and yank the guy off the field. So it was never going to happen. So I wasn't shocked only because I looked at that draft and I thought they liked Zach Wilson. He went to Miami. They didn't like Justin Fields, and he liked Mac Jones, and Mac Jones was in Jacksonville, was terrible. And I was looking at his numbers. I mean, he was good as a rookie, and then I don't know what happened to the guy, but they resurrected Darnold. A guy like Baker Mayfield's been resurrected. The one thing I will say is this isn't like I looked at social media, which is the worst thing to look at. He's not challenging Brock Purdy. This doesn't mean they're not signing Brock Purdy.
No.
This doesn't mean anything like that. This just means Kyle clearly liked Mac Jones coming out of Alabama. He could be a backup. Maybe they'll get somebody in the draft too, or maybe they'll get an old veteran like Flacco. I don't know, but they resurrected Darnold, and I know, and you guys do too, the ego of Kyle Shanahan. So I think he probably thinks he can resurrect Mac Jones as well.
You know, Tony, go ahead. I want to step on you if you have something to. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, P. I'll get in there. Go ahead.
You know, you said you weren't shocked, John, but let me throw these names at you and tell me which of the following names, the 49ers who have left the building, did any of these departures shock you? Because there's a lot of them. Aaron Banks, Jarvarius Ward, Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, Jalen Moore. I'm still going, by the way. Elijah Mitchell, Josh Dobbs, Debo Samuel. Any of those shock or surprise you?
No, and I think everybody has it mixed up. Everybody is worried about quantity, not quality. And there's a lot of big names in there, but the only guy who hurts is Dre Greenlaw because you don't have a replacement for Dre Greenlaw. And a year ago, they would have went up to the number, but essentially what happened was those three linebackers, Ernest Jones of Seattle, Jamie Sherwood of the Jets, and Nick Bolton of the Chiefs signed the night before free agency started. And it jacked the number between 13 and 15. The Niners wanted to pay about $8 or $9 million for Greenlaw, and they didn't want to go beyond 2 years. And a year ago, John Lynch could have went into Jed and said, Jed, can you give me a few more dollars? Like when you beg your parents.
Yeah.
And he would have said yes. But they said they're not going to do that anymore, and they didn't. So there's no replacement on the roster for him. But the rest of the guys you just mentioned, like Hufanga hasn't been good since 22, people.
True.
Mustafa's already here.
Yep.
Kyle Juszczyk, his best attribute was he was great in the locker room. And he was best friends with Kittle, but they don't throw the ball to him. He has 10 carries in the last 2 years. And if it's 3rd and 1 and he's got to bust out a linebacker in the hole, he can't do it. So they got the kid from Jacksonville, Luke Farrell. So he's already replacing him. So every single person that you mentioned on that list has already been replaced. Debo, I love Debo, but it's going to be hard to replace his energy. But Ricky Pearsall was drafted to replace him. Yeah. So if you go down the line on every one of those guys, Banks stinks. I mean, 4 and 77. Yeah. And Jalen Moore, up until this year, has stunk. He was never going to be the long-term left tackle. Like Kansas City, midway through the season, when Patrick Mahomes gets decapitated by a blindside pass rusher, we're going to go, damn, that was an overpay. Like, I understand why people are upset because the way that they're signing guys, they're going to go cheap. Clearly, they're, financially, they're taking a step back and they're trying to kind of pull this thing together. But nobody outside of Dre Greenlaw really. It has not. Yeah. They've already replaced everybody but Dre Greenlaw. I'm not saying they're better, but like even Ward last year, he was great in 23, but in 24 because of that off the field stuff. Yeah, Football Focus had him like the 56th ranked corner. So Renardo Green was actually better.
I agree with everything you're saying, John. And I was glad to see Debo go. I got to be honest. I soured on him last year, man. I didn't like his attitude when he was playing. I didn't like his there really weren't any contributions. Obviously, he's out of shape. So for Debo to go, I was cool with that. But that leads me to this. And Tony, you come in next. Sorry, I know I'm hogging the mic here. I want you to get
as much time as you need, bro. We don't have to break.
Yeah.
But John,
exactly.
Do you think the Niners are going to? Do you think they're going to cut Ayuk loose? Because it's starting to feel that way to me. Like, where are you with that whole thing?
Well, the thing is, man, and I know everybody knows this, but I'll just reiterate it. So I threw this up during my show this morning. They've got already $80 million in dead cap from the guys they're not going to pay. So obviously Debo's at 31. It gets offset by a salary. I don't want to bore everybody with the numbers because it's like, oh my God, seriously, Kruger. But, so I don't want to go too deep into the numbers. But the point is that, they're paying, like, Hargrave is one of the worst signings they've ever had, because not only are they paying him $8 million next year not to play, they're paying him $17 million in 26 not to play for him. Like, that's why they're in this predicament, and why Jed has said, I'm turning the faucet off, because they've got $80 million in dead cap. Leonard Floyd is dead cap, on and on and on. And so what Ayuk would cost you is another $18 million in dead cap. So if you're going to trade him, here's the deal. He costs you $18 more million in dead cap. You don't have anybody to catch the football. I know he's hurt. And then stock market, I'm not Jim Cramer over here, but you don't trade a stock when it's as low as it possibly could be. So what are you going to get for him? A 3rd or a 4th round pick right now? And he's hurt and he's going to cost you 18. Like, the only reason you would trade him is Jed is so pissed off about that contract that he's going to make it personal and say, I got to get rid of that guy, because every time I stamp that stupid contract, or that his stupid check, I get pissed. And so that would be the only reason, because it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
I think my old bosses felt that way, John, every time they had to send my check out. A lot of anger, a lot of frustration. I hate this SOB. I can't believe I got to give him another check. I know. We've all been there. Sorry, T.
No, hey, I want to say cheers again. Cheers again. Great to have John Lund on the show. And the Bay Area Sports Collective, BayAreaSC.com. That's where we're all over there. So check it out. And John, I was surprised that they only got, like, looking at like how, what was it, a 2nd rounder that Seattle got for DK Metcalf. Yeah. I think Seattle got a 3rd rounder for Geno Smith. I was surprised that they only got a 5th rounder for Debo. Were you surprised about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it tells you how badly they wanted to get rid of him. And, because here's the deal. Like, he asked to get traded, and I get that. But so did Myles Garrett. So did a bunch of guys. I mean, that's a way to get more money. And essentially what he's trying to do is, let me get out on the market. He's trying to blame the Niners, which is hilarious because the last time he blamed the Niners, he dropped that pass in the Rams game. And it was like, man, when you bitch and moan, you better catch the ball.
You better make some plays, dude.
Right.
Exactly.
So he's trying to get somewhere else because he thinks it's about everybody else but himself. But the reality is that he's almost 30 years old. He has a running back body. He played wide receiver like a running back, and he's starting to break down. And so
there you go. Yeah.
I mean, how much must you dislike someone? I mean, because they kick, look, KNBR kicked us all to the curb, but they didn't give us, it didn't cost them $31 million.
I wish
so
the
Niners, the Niners are taking a $31 million cap hit for Debo, not to play for them.
Dude.
Yeah,
so they must brutal. Not, and I'm going to go with you, Paulie. I'll give you a great story on Debo. And again, I'm not trying to kick the guy while he's out.
No, it's all right.
He's fine.
Yeah.
But we're in LA at the Super Bowl, and he was doing a thing. You know how the Super Bowl is. You guys all been there.
There's all these events.
It's
and
Radio
parties
Row.
And
And so you talk to a guy for 9 or 10 minutes, and you talk to him about different things. And then on like the 10th minute is like, and in his case, it was Old Spice. Hey, Debo, Old Spice. Oh my God, the chicks. You got to knock them off with a stick when you got Old Spice on. Huh, man? Isn't Old Spice the best? And then he goes off for 2 minutes on Old Spice.
Yeah.
So I saw him at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and he doesn't have a whole lot of patience, and I get it. So he gets to me and Greg by about, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And usually I can remember this with like Alden Smith or Colin Kaepernick or anybody who's ever come on from like the Niners, and they know Greg and they're cool. And so they come on and they deal with it. Right.
Sure.
Not Debo, man.
See.
He comes on and he's staring at the floor the whole time.
Oh,
he's giving us 3-word answers.
See,
he's being a total jackass. But the worst part was he stands up and there was a handler for all these people. And the guy had walked over and he was a big Niners fan. And he had a silver Sharpie. He had a black sweatshirt. And the old bow nose? The sweatshirt said Debo knows.
Nice.
So he's a huge Debo fan.
Right.
And Debo gets up from our interview after being an asshole the whole time. And the kid says, Debo, I'm a huge fan. Sorry to bother you, but can you sign my sweatshirt real quick? And Debo doesn't have the decency to at least even say no. He looks the kid up and down, smirks, and walks off and doesn't sign the kid's sweatshirt.
See,
and I'm thinking to myself, you guys know this. We're in this blocked off area. He doesn't have to talk to anybody. It's not like it takes 3 seconds to make this guy's day. And it's not like a bunch of people are going to ask you for autographs. And he just walks off. And it's just, he has, and again, not everybody's nice to the media. I get it. But, he's just, that's who he is.
It's like it took more effort to do that than it did to just be nice. Call. Yeah.
So if you're the Niners, it's not only are you not effective anymore, and we're just going to take all this stuff, but it's like I get it that some of his teammates like him, but I know this for a fact. He's tough to be around, and that's just not me talking. He's tough to be around. So I think it was a combination of things where they just went, you know what? I think we're done here. Yeah, and we're not going to put down the problem, and we're gonna eat the money now and let you go.
See you later.
And you go to college and you put on the freshman 15 in college. They say, well, then you saw the pictures. You saw the pictures of Devo, the side shot of him in the AJ Brown.
Dude, he must have been mowing like jambalaya and red beans and rice, and the way he looked in that AJ Brown jersey on the side, it was like,
dude,
what do you do, bro?
He's got a bag of beignets, you know what I mean, with the grease and all that. So,
real quick, I just wanted to honor our supers. DC with his $4.
Oh, I like the 420.
Yeah, exactly, we get a lot of that, John. Coincidence
He's
or
loving
not,
the Niner talk. And then Patty from Napa, one of our favorites, from Mikey, her husband, for having Lund on. Although he says, "Go Pack."
Yeah, that's all right, man.
Hey, it's all good.
John, a couple minutes ago, we were talking about the Niner departures, and you said, we'll see how well it works in Kansas City when Patrick Mahomes gets laid out from the blind side. Here's my question, dude. Tony and I have been talking about this a lot. Well, obviously the Niners are not getting Joey Bosa. He's up in Buffalo now. That's a done deal. So here's the thing. Where is the pass rush going to come from? Because that's the only freaking way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw Philly do it beautifully, and we saw the Buccaneers do it a few years ago. That's the only way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. If you give Mahomes time to look around and scramble, he's going to beat you 10 times out of 10. My question is, I was not satisfied, nor should any 49er fan be satisfied with the pass rush last year. Bosa didn't exactly light the world on fire. I know he's held on every snap, but I'm done with that excuse. Find a way, dude. Find a way. So where is the help going to come from, John? Because right now, I don't see it.
Well, I think it's on both sides of the line. What if I had to guess right now? What I think they're going to do in the draft? I think they might go right tackle, move McKivitz into where Banks was, and I think your offensive line's done.
Fine.
Offensively, you get your skill guys; they're going to score points. Defensively, I was looking at the front seven, for example, and without Greenlaw, I mean, they let everybody go inside. And look, we have to remember that their defense did suck last year. Nick Sorensen got fired, and so it wasn't like this was a great defense. But I mean, I feel bad for Saleh to a point where it's like, he wants to be a head coach again. And he's thinking, okay, I'm going to take over this defense. And now he looks at it and he's like, well, I don't have any defensive tackles. Literally, I don't, by the way, Leonard Floyd, I looked up his numbers again, not to go Krugish, but he had 8.5 sacks. On the other, 600 snaps, he was the worst defensive end in football. Like, his numbers were terrible. So they're not missing anything with that dude.
Right.
So I don't mind Floyd being gone, except for, again, that's another salary cap, dead cap hit. But Floyd wasn't good. Malik Collins is already signed with, I think, Cleveland or something like that. They don't have anybody inside. Jordan Elliott was terrible last year. So your guess is as good as mine. I think what's going to happen here is they have 11 picks. I think they might go just because they're at 11 with the tackle, like I said, move McKivitz to guard. But then the rest of the draft has got to be all about the defensive line. Like, they don't have anybody on the edge.
No.
They don't have anybody inside. And clearly they're not going to spend money because there was guys who were released. They like Dalvin Tomlinson's pretty good with Cleveland. He got released. He went to the Cardinals for some ridiculous amount of money. So clearly, unless there's a garage sale that we don't know about, maybe they'll get a couple of, guys who aren't the greatest names you've ever heard, but they're not going to go out like Joey Bosa. Like you said, it's not like he got a ton from Buffalo, but people are saying that, by the way, the Niners offered him $10 million. From what I heard, they didn't offer him $10 million.
That's what I heard, John. I heard the same thing.
They offered him a lot less, and they offered him a lot of incentives.
Yeah.
And he went to Buffalo. So they must have some sort of a plan, but it's got to be all draft related because there's not a lot left. I guess they could make a trade or something, but it's clear they're going to take a bullet this year as far as, whatever the word you want to use. Nobody likes to use rebuild because the marketing department hates rebuild. Like, oh, you can't say that. We won't sell tickets.
Yeah.
But I don't know, retool, reset, a financial reset, whatever the number thing is. They're going to take this big hit on the cap. They're going to draft a bunch of guys. And I think what Jed is saying to the front office guys is, well, you did it once before. Like, you found the Warners and you found the Kittles and you found the Greenlaws and you found the Purdy's and you found the Jennings. So you got to go do that again because we're sure as hell not doing it in free agency. So in a long way to answer your question, I think that after figuring out maybe the offensive line real early, I think the whole thing has got to be about the defensive line and then finding a linebacker. Because like people are saying Curtis Robinson off an AC. Like, they got to find somebody to replace Greenlaw, but they have to find a million defensive linemen, it feels like.
I'm worried about the vibe. The vibe of Greenlaw is so hard to replace.
Oh, dude, I love Green. Everybody loves Greenlaw. Great guy. Absolutely, the exact opposite of Debo, by the way. Greenlaw is the most cordial, easy to talk to guy. Tony, yeah.
Obviously you can try and replace him physically, but man, his energy, and when he came just for that one game that he came back on the field, it elevated everybody's game.
It did.
And I'm just really bummed out he's not a Niner anymore. But I get it. I totally get it. And Denver took it. That's a roll of the dice. That's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I get it. I guess. I mean, look, if he doesn't have the Achilles, I think even this year, I think they overspend a little bit because 3-35 is not outrageous.
No.
And I don't know how it's structured. It's probably a 1-year deal after all of that kind of stuff. But if he doesn't have the Achilles, I think they're fine with it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, of everybody on that list, I'm not worried about anybody except for him, because like you said, he played 34 snaps last year, and in those 34 snaps, it was like, oh my God, the defense is back. His energy is back. Fred is excited, and I still believe, because I remember I was at the Super Bowl, and I remember when he came on the field and fell down, and it was Tim Ryan, who's just Tim Ryan is like unbelievable. Tim had the binoculars on from the booth, and he goes, Dre Greenlaw just fell down, and we were like, whatever, dude. And then all of a sudden he's like, no, seriously, man. Dre Greenlaw's down. And we're like, yeah, he'll get right back up. And then we're like, damn. And so of all the weird things that happened in that Super Bowl, I swear to God, if he's healthy, because he locked up Kelsey. And then after Kelsey left, it was like he just had a field day. So I think they win that Super Bowl if Greenlaw's healthy. Isn't that crazy?
No question.
Yeah, he's just, like Tony said, man, I just feel like he's a loss that you're going to feel in more ways than just on the field. I mean, he's a guy who was a leader in the locker room. All of his teammates looked up to him and enjoyed him, and the fans love him. So it's hard. It's a hard guy to replace. What's so funny?
Paulie,
What do you got?
Can I interject?
Yeah,
one of our commenters, John, just put the words "ball out," and I wanted to know.
That's such a. I mean,
so,
dude,
ball out,
bro. You know how many times that guy? I was just talking about the dentist who like had road construction going on in my head.
Yeah.
I would be. I during Niners games, I sit behind those two guys in the booth, right?
Oh,
and so you got Greg who never sits down and is a freaking maniac.
Yeah.
And then you got Tim who sits there. Tim is such a maniac, man, that after the third quarter, the dude has smelling salts.
Yeah.
And if you don't take the smelling salt, true story, bro.
Oh my God.
If you don't sniff the smelling salt, he'll punch you in the chest. So what's worse? So at the end of every third quarter, if you're in the booth, Tim gives you the smelling salt and puts it under your nose. And he's like, "Let's go, bro. It's the fourth quarter, bro." And you're like, you know,
come on, bro.
So he does take a rip, bro. And so he has the smelling salt. But you'll have your headphones on, right?
Oh my God.
And I might be looking at, I'm looking at the play. I'm not looking at Tim. Or I might be looking at a stat or typing something up. Or if it's the first half, I got a halftime report to do, so I'm typing something up. And all of a sudden, like you said, out of nowhere, I'm not going to do this into the mic because it'll blow your ears out. And all of a sudden,
top of his lungs.
Dude, like you get a migraine like right away.
It's so incredible, man.
He's one of my favorite guys. Tony showed me a picture of Tim Ryan a
unbelievable.
couple of seasons ago. Tony, remember this picture he showed me in your studio? It was just like you said. It was a picture taken from the seats looking at the broadcast booth. So you had Greg Papa with the binoculars, and then right next to him, Tony goes, "Paulie, look at this. It looks like Tim Ryan's trying to climb out of the booth because his entire upper torso was hanging out of the window."
Here I go, bro. He thinks he's playing. I swear to God. Every time I see him, I quit going into the booth because what I used to do is our radio booth is downstairs. So we do the pregame show, and I would walk upstairs, and I'd walk into the radio booth, and I'd say hello to everybody because you talk to one of them in the pregame. But like what started happening was every time you saw Tim, he was so jacked up. And he would literally come up the stairs as part of his routine, and he would like elbow you somewhere, like maybe in the neck or maybe in the chest. How
do you like this, bro?
Let's go, bro. Let's go. And it was like he would hit you like with an elbow or a shoulder.
Very
and
physical.
You know me, like, dude, I'm 5'9".
Yeah.
Hopefully, right now I'm not at that playing weight, but normally I'm probably rolling at like 175 in the winter, probably 190. But like he, so it's fall, so I'm probably in the middle, like 175, 180. This dude is still bricked up. He works out with the players every day.
No, I know. He's out of his mind. Yeah.
And he's built like he's built. And so he gives you an elbow to the chest and thinks it's nothing. It takes him like the whole first quarter to recover, man. One time he hit me in the neck. I thought I was going to die. I was like, no, I was going to die.
He picked me up like a rag doll once. I was down at Niner practice with Murph, and we were standing on the sidelines just watching the team work out. All of a sudden, somebody came up behind me, lifted me off the ground. That's right, Paulie Mack. I'm here, bro. Dude, my feet were dangling. I'm not kidding. I'm 6'3", too. I'm a tall drink of water.
It's not like you're a small guy.
Shaking me, bro, like a little rag doll. But anyway, we love Tim Ryan.
No, the best part about Tim, too. The best part about Tim is, and you guys did this a lot, you would like there would be different rock songs. It's like sometimes it would be Maiden, or sometimes it'd be like whatever. If it was like Judas Priest, or it'd be Dio, to be like, he's the last in line. Like he was like a metalhead, man.
Big time.
It was hilarious.
He told me once on the air that he used to, when he was playing college ball, he used to listen to Motley Crue in the locker room before games. He's like, I made my teammates listen to it, bro. I'm like, what if they didn't like Motley Crue though? Well, that's tough shit, bro, because I'm playing it. You know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna go.
That's his whole thing. It's his whole thing. I mean, it was like, you're talking about a guy that's 6'5", and he's a big boy. And it was always funny because we do the show down there on Thursday, and he didn't have a card to the studio we were in. So every time there's this small window like we're monkeys in a cage, and Tim would walk up to the thing and he would bang on it like this, and he would look at you like, why aren't you already here, bro? It's like, what am I supposed to do? Anticipate that, like, and if you didn't get out there quick, man, like I said, you would open up the door and he'd give you like some forearm shiver or something. I was like, damn it. So I didn't want to go out there and get him after a while, because it was like, I would tell Papa to do it, and Papa's even smaller than me. And then Pop would come back and be like holding his shoulders.
He hit me again, John. He's being abusive. He's being abusive, John. Yeah. Tim Riley's being abusive.
Hey, I just wanted to give some love to DC again. And John, Sons of Johnny LeMaster.
Oh, they're the best. I got a sweatshirt. I don't have it in here.
Oh, you do?
Nice.
I got the Sons of Johnny the Master sweatshirt. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's the
best. In prior night flights of ours, he's paid extra for us to keep going until 9:30. John, this is not to say you need to go to 9:30.
No, we're gonna let John. We'll let John.
Dude, it's like whatever you guys want to do. It's 9:09. Like I'm already half in the bag because I already started before 8. I knew what kind of a place I needed to be in. I might even have had a couple of mints before it came on.
I would never say a word. I would never tell anybody. So I only got a couple more things for John anyway. Well, let me throw a name at you, John. You tell me your thoughts. What you think his destination will be? Let it fly. When I say the name Aaron Rodgers.
Oh God. That's another Tim Ryan. Oh God. I can't believe anybody would pay him to do anything. Not only is he a bad player at this point of his career, he's just a bad dude.
He's a team director.
John, did you watch Enigma? Did you watch this?
Yeah. The only reason I did is because I knew I'd have to talk about it so much. I can't stand the guy. I can't stand the guy.
I'm gonna go live in the stream now, man. I got a dragon tattoo. It's like, dude, nobody cares, man. Yeah.
Right. And so, he's self-important. He's not good anymore. When people would bring up like Rodgers to the Niners, I'm like, do you guys know who Kyle Shanahan is? Like the ego between those two guys couldn't even fit in the Bay Area, let alone in like a room. So, I mean, I knew he was never coming back, but like they're talking about Pittsburgh right now. And like Mike Tomlin would rip his head off within the first couple of weeks of the season. I mean, I think it would be great because he'd make for great theater. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand. Like the Giants saw firsthand that he tore apart the Jets, like himself. Like that was, I mean, I'm not saying that was a good team, but my God, he tore apart the team. So if I'm the Giants, I don't touch him. I'd rather have Tommy DeVito. And then
Tommy Cutlets.
I don't know who would sign him, or like Minnesota. Like, could you imagine him going to Minnesota and you got JJ McCarthy going there trying to figure out his way? And then you got Aaron Rodgers. You think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be like, here, let me take you under my wing, son? He's gonna be like, get out of the way. I want to play. Like, he's not a mentor. Come on, man.
Like do you think?
I mean, is it like a Deshaun Watson or like in Cleveland or something? Like, or they just?
I guess if you're at rock bottom, that's a good point. If you're at rock bottom like Cleveland, and you got a guy like Deshaun Watson, who's maybe the only guy who's more detested at the position in the league than Rodgers. And I guess that wouldn't be so bad, but like the two teams I'm talking about are, well, three teams: Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and the Giants. The Giants saw firsthand. Pittsburgh's got Tomlin. That's going to be a problem. And Minnesota has basically a rookie quarterback, and he's not going to take him under his wing. Like, there's no way. Here, let me be a mentor, my son. You know.
Yeah,
he's gonna OD him on ayahuasca right before the game. Here, just take these, it'll relax you.
Yeah, seriously. You come with me, man. We'll go on a retreat in the cave with no electricity.
We'll play. It's like, I'm the starter.
Yeah. We'll wear loincloths and sit around in a cave for a few days. Yeah, that's going to be the cure. All right, so Johnny, last thing I got for you tonight, and I appreciate you giving us so much time. Thank you, brother. Would be this, because we're on the heels, dude. We're not the heels. I guess we're on the eve, I should say, of Giants baseball, dude. It's almost back. John, do you realize opening day is freaking March 27th,
2 weeks,
dude? It's insane.
Oh my God.
So that's the road opener. They'll be in Cincinnati, then they come back to China Basin. But I don't know, man. Broad strokes, real quick on this. Verlander had a nice day yesterday. Tony and I have talked about Verlander a lot. Like, what should we expect? I'm going to have to see it before I can really form an opinion. But I was underwhelmed, bro. I got to tell you, this whole off season, I was very underwhelmed. I thought something more significant would come along with Buster Posey pulling the levers. But here we are, dude. It's the same kind of rehashing and reserving of the same kind of players and teams. So I don't know. Expectations, John's thoughts about what's in front of us here?
They've got a good record in spring. Everybody's talking about all these different guys they've always talked about. My whole thing on spring is dudes are just trying to get work in. And as long as you don't have an injury, like now the Yankees have Garrett Cole that's hurt, as long as you don't have an injury, that's all that really matters. But in terms of Verlander, like yesterday, he throws what, 4 innings or 5 innings, whatever, strikes out 4. Yeah. The dude's a freak. I mean, because I was like, this is a stupid signing. He's a 42-year-old coming off a neck injury. The best part of him is his wife. Like, come on, man. But then dude, he's throwing like 97 at 42. Like, he's made a deal with the devil, or he's Nolan Ryan's kid, or like he looks good. And so if all of a sudden he's like is good to be a 2 and Ray can go, like there's a lot of ifs. I hate if, but like Robbie Ray could be your 3, and I like Birdsong more than I like Harrison. So, if they can get it done from a pitching perspective, that's great. Now hitting wise, and I know that a lot of guys have had like, don't give me Matos again. Like it was like, oh, Matos, this.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
Not again. Like
yeah.
So I'm a little nervous about that side of it. I'm not a Wade guy. I wish they would have upgraded. Can Bailey, Bailey's a good defender, not a good hitter. Is Ramos the guy from the second half of the first half? So, I mean, they got a bunch of questions, but if they can just get pitching, but then here's the problem, man, is like, okay, you're not catching the Dodgers. Right. You're not catching the D-backs. Probably you might be in the best division in baseball. So, even if they're really good, are they going to be in fourth place? Because now, okay, so you're not catching the Dodgers. Larry Barrow already told us that. So then, really missed those interviews. And so then, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Everything's fine. Everything's burning. Everything's fine. The Titanic is fine. It's seaworthy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, right,
so,
right. Trust me.
Everything's great. Just keep playing, band. Keep playing. So anyway, where was I? So, even if they're good, it's going to be really hard. So now you're dealing with, instead of, the Dodgers win the division, now you have to go up against every other wild card team in the league. And it's just going to be tough. And there's a lot of questions. So, I just don't think they did enough. And you just mentioned Buster. It's like, I'm not down on Buster or anything. It's just, I think for like a minute they gave us, they and all of a sudden he gets, the shortstop and we're all freaking out like he's going to do more. And then, all of a sudden the people in the front office around the big mahogany table just went, that's all for you. And it's like, wait a minute, I want more. And it's like, no, we just gave you one. Like, when you're new at a job and you ask for something and they're really cool to you and they get, so that's what they did. Yeah. They give them Adamas. And then after that, they just kind of went, no, man, like that's your, you got the job moment. And now we're done. Like,
yeah, I mean, hey, John, there's one thing I could hope for the Verlander signing is that he takes a guy like Birdsong under his wing.
Well, there you go.
Hey,
yeah,
let me give you all my secrets. Let me give you all the tricks of the trade. I'm 42 years old. Just follow me all season, dude, and just be like like he's a young Jedi. And I know I look at that as like the bonus of the signing. And then that kid Bryce Eldridge, we got excited. He comes up, he hits a 450-foot bomb. And then he strikes out like the next, whatever, eight out of 12 at bats or whatever. So obviously that kid has got a lot of work to do, but I feel like they put their eggs in this Eldridge basket, and I don't know how it's going to end up. And I'm curious how you feel about because I'm not sure Lamont Wade's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. But like fine is not
late
exactly.
Late night Lamont, Tony. Late night Lamont. Yeah.
I don't want to rip on late night and everything. He had a great year in 21, but
he did.
That was the whole off season. I knew they weren't going to get you weren't going to get Pete Alonso on a 1-year make good. Like he wasn't going to come here to mash his stats so he could go out on the free agent market again. So I get that. But I don't understand, and this is more of a Farhan thing, and Buster's still getting his feet under him, but I've always been of the opinion that if you're the Giants, you sign excess pitching, you trade the pitching for the hitting because the hitting isn't going to come here. So, Lamont Wade, I don't know what they have. And I know they're so afraid. Every team is so afraid of trading minor leaguers because it's going to blow up in their face. 90% of the time when you get the best player in a trade, you win the trade. Sometimes it happens that a Zach Wheeler years later for Carlos Beltran blows up in your face. But it's you got to take those chances. So all of a sudden it's like nobody wants to trade anybody because they might look bad. And it's like, I personally speaking, I'd go to Scott Boras right now and go, the Vlad Guerrero, he wants $500 million. I'll take it. Like he's 25 years old.
Yeah.
And he's a right-handed hitter. So whatever. It takes Bryce Eldridge and Kyle Harrison and whatever. And you take a chance that a guy who's 25 who hits right-handed, who could mash 40 in your park, like go for it every once in a while. But they just seem to be, they think the star is Oracle Park. I think they think the star is Cha-Cha Bowls. And I think they want to turn turnstiles. And there are certain owners who want to win, like Joe Lakeup. And there are certain organizations who want to turn turnstiles. And that's the Giants.
Well said,
I don't
John.
think they want to win.
No,
if they wanted to win, they would try to win. They don't. They're like, oh, look at this. We got Willie Adamas. Come to the park and have a Cha-Cha Bowl. And look at the great scenery. And it's like,
that's a great call.
Well, Lakeup's like the modern day Eddie DeBartolo, where it's like he'll spend to win.
He's a dream owner, Joe Lakeup. I mean, what do you need? Butler, fine, bring him in. Like, I mean, he is constantly obsessed and concerned with bettering the product on the floor. Because, John, you're right. I think that the Giants mentality is the fans are going to show up anyway. That's one lesson I learned last year. I was really surprised that the fans came out in the numbers that they did throughout the season. It was kind of an underwhelming year, but the fans kept coming. I was like, damn.
The park's awesome. And like,
yeah,
I grew up a Cubs fan, and then you move around like I have over 30 years, and you kind of lose your fandom and you want the local teams to win. But, I grew up and went to a lot of Cubs games growing up, and my dad was from Chicago, and we went to Cubs games. And I remember asking him, because, around there, it's like if nobody's been there, it's like Wrigley Field got dropped in the middle of a neighborhood. Yeah. And on each corner, there's the Cubby Bear and Murphy's Bleachers, and there's all these bars around it. And these people are just hammered out of their mind on a Tuesday afternoon at 10 a.m. And I'm like, what? Doesn't anybody have a job?
Oh,
like, nobody does. And then the gates open, everybody runs in. The Cubs never have to be good. They never have to be good because the product and going to the game is the event. And I learned that as I got older. Is like, I'm going to these bars going, this is the greatest thing. I've probably been to 20 games in my life to Wrigley Field. Yeah. I don't remember one game. I don't remember one score.
It's a blur, dude. It is.
There were guys one time, it was July and it was like 110 degrees. These guys never left their seats. And I turned around and I go, why do you guys never have to piss? And the guy goes, oh, we got Depends on. And I look and he pulls his shirt up and the dude's wearing Depends.
God,
I mean, it's America. A party, man. And they don't care who's winning. Like
that's a big step, dude. To diaper up.
To go Depends?
Yeah.
It's 110. And Chicago, no, it's not 110. It's probably 90. But with like the humidity out of this world. And and these guys are just like, whatever. And seriously, we're 2 hours into the game. I made the mistake of drinking they had a margarita machine. We're in right field and Sammy Sosa's out there, right? Oof, so we'd go up there and we decided one time we wouldn't go get beers. We'd start drinking margaritas, which is a bad move because we're hammered in the sun. And so I just finally turned around. These guys had never left their seats. And they're like, no, it's too big of a party. I don't want to go to the bathroom. And they didn't care about the game. They just cared about partying. So
you're still sitting in a heavy diaper, though. That can't be a pleasant experience. If you got a diaper.
Oh, dude, I can't imagine when they got up.
Oh, like, dude, that's pretty gnarly, dude.
The point is like they don't ever have to win. And I get the sense, and this is where I think fans kind of have it wrong sometimes, is you really think that every owner wants to win. And you guys know this. You've talked to guys. I've talked to a number of owners in my life who say, hey, this is one of 50 businesses I own. That's how John Fisher looks at it. Like, this is one of 50 businesses I own.
That's right.
And this is no different than my Spacely Sprocket business. And I don't treat it any differently than I would normally treat it. So
Right.
It's crazy, man.
Well, that's very well said, though. And I don't think you're wrong about any of those points, Tony. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the fans are going to show up. You're right. The event is the park itself and the whole experience.
It's awesome.
And it is. But what happens is, as a result of winning those 3 world championships, now you want more. You want another playoff team.
Time, right?
Yeah, you want time. And you're right. It is time. Enough years have gone by. They had that one little flirtation in 21 after the pandemic with the Dodgers, that 5-game series. But aside from that, it's been dry. And it's, the fans will. This is a big Giants town, and if they do put together a winning season, obviously it'd be really exciting. But Johnny, let me just say this, dude. Thank you so much for the time tonight, bro. It's great seeing you. I really mean this, John. I'm so proud to be working alongside you and Tom Tolbert.
Feel the same.
Bay Area Sports Collective. It's a great new venture. We're just getting off the ground, and Johnny, having you on board and us together makes me really happy. So, dude, onward and upward, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, the same thing, man. I know we met a couple of weeks ago when we were putting this thing together and we were having some beers, but you guys are the best. And I the only thing I miss, honestly, is walking in, and maybe Tony came in like once a week, but it was nice seeing Tony. Maybe. I miss seeing Tony. Yeah. I miss our exchange back and forth, sliding by each other because they put us in a 6x6-inch studio. You know what I mean? I would walk in and I'd say hi to you, and I would often be late because the music's playing and they're pointing at me, and I was like, dude, I don't see Paulie, and so I got to catch up.
Yeah.
I got to say one other quick thing.
Sure.
You and Murph were the smartest guys on earth. So when you guys did that deal when we went over to Hawaii, so when I started working with Tom, I started doing that trip, the Hawaiian Airlines deal.
Yeah.
And you guys had been doing it for years. And so my mom lives over in Kona, and I didn't realize, so we're in Maui. And I said, well, what are you guys doing? We were done for the week. We're already over there. And you guys both were like, oh, we're going to go island hopping for another week. We're taking the next week off. And I'm like, these guys
That's
are
gangster
the
shit.
smartest
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
because we're already over there.
Yeah.
And here I
Yeah.
am. My dumb ass is like, I'm going back. It's like,
Yeah.
we gave you a free trip, man.
I got a show on Monday. Yeah, I
so
figured, you know what? If
you
these
guys
guys are
would
going to
take 2 weeks over there, it was like, oh, that's so brilliant.
It really was a gangster
Oh,
move because you
it
got
was.
the hotel was paid for, the flight was paid for. Now you had to spring for your extra days, obviously,
Right,
but
but so
it-
what?
yeah,
You got
and
the free flight.
Yeah, no,
you're
that
already
was my
there.
routine. I milked it for all it was worth, John. I mean, I figured I might as well before they throw me
Dude,
to the curb. Yeah,
It was such a gangster move. And not only that, so they wouldn't do this anymore, but early in that process, when they would actually, throw a few dollars at us, they would have the dinner, which they cut out, but they'd have the
I know.
dinner at the
They
end.
get rid of that. Yeah,
By the end of that, they're like, let's go.
Yeah. There's
and they used to have like a
McDonald's
Monday
street.
night
Yeah.
get together. It's like every night they'd have something. Everybody's on their own.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but by the end of that thing, we would have this dinner and your wife would bring all the wine and like all this cool stuff. And we would just have the best time and we connect to listeners and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I just remember the first time I'm walking back to my hotel or something like the night before I'm going to leave Hawaii and I'm all depressed. You get the realization is you got to get back home.
Yep.
And but the next week was Thanksgiving. That's why they would bring us there because it was such a slow week in Hawaii. So then I just remember talking to you and we were standing out there, it was dark and you go, oh no, dude, this is my first week. Like I'm going for another week. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my
I'm just
God.
getting started.
They flew me over here. Why am I so stupid? Why did I do that? And anyway, yeah, it was amazing. I mean, that was
All
an
good,
amazing
brother.
trip.
All good.
Hey,
man.
John, before we let you go, there's a couple of supers. By the way, Patty from now or pass me another says
Bro.
John Lund 327. So John, we're having our
They're happy
our
to see you. Yeah.
season
thank you.
opener watch
We need
party.
to get
Our-
together, by the way. We need to go
So-
go to that, right?
Well, there
March
it is. So,
27th.
John,
We'll-
tell him, Tony.
Yeah.
Tell him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, March 27th, our first sponsor, Longbridge Pizza, right
Nice.
3 blocks south of Chase Center. They're having a watch party. We're having a watch party there for the
Oh,
giant
nice.
season opener. So I'll send you the details stuff and
Let's
we'll try
go.
to get you there, John. And then Dom Peralta says, Jumpin' Johnny Lund, welcome to the PMP Army, BASC back.
Yes,
So,
sir, Dom.
I know.
and on the
Don,
way
that
out, Paulie,
420
I
is
want to thank
beautiful.
Go
I
ahead,
want to
T.
thank John Lund. John, you are just you're a tremendous wingman, not only at company events,
Oh, yeah.
but also at that Super Bowl in Miami, dude.
Oh,
There were some
dude.
events that you took me to that we went to that I was like, dude, this guy is an incredible wingman. And I just want to
Miami
thank
is-
you, John.
Man.
Miami was incredible. It was
I'm a
it's
fan.
too bad-
Dude.
it's too bad
Yeah.
the game stunk, but
Yeah,
it was a
dude,
great
but that
week
was
leading up to
still-
that game.
Oh my God. Did we have a
Dude.
good time?
Oh
We
my
got some
god, it was
stories.
incredible.
We
Yeah,
got some stories.
We
Yes.
do.
Oh my
indeed,
God.
man.
No. That's the only thing I miss is like seeing you guys and Paulie seeing you and seeing Murph and
Mhm.
I didn't see Greg because he was at home, but it was like, that's the only thing you really miss. You don't miss
Right.
any of the stuff. You don't miss meetings. You don't miss, you
No.
don't miss any of that
No.
stuff. It's,
No.
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 it's just, we had a great group of guys. And I think hopefully people could see that because we have the connection that we do now,
Yeah.
or like Tom or like any of these guys. And, I'm not here to bash radio or anything, but it's going in a different direction. That's totally cool. They're going young and they're going cheap, but man, having worked with you guys for, so many years that was what I looked forward to, going
Same here.
every day and just having
Yeah.
fun with you guys and kicking it. And they paid us to do this, which is
Well,
Yeah.
hey, listen, man, the feelings are mutual, John. And again, now we're doing it over here. This is going to be even better than what we used to do now because the leash is off and you can tell it
Totally.
like you really want to tell it. So, Johnny, God bless you. I love you, brother.
You too, man.
We'll talk
Good.
soon. And
Thank you, John.
check him out. John Lund Unleashed. There he is. See you later,
Thanks,
Johnny.
guys.
Be good.
Yeah,
man.
take care, brother.
That's my boy, John Lund, everybody. Thank you. And boy, what a great
Oh.
reaction. What a great
Oh.
welcoming to the PMP community. And of course, that's the thing with John. He's right, dude. The best part about working at KMBR was the people. Period.
Yes.
End of story.
Yes.
Some of the
Yes.
no matter what the state of that station, meaning like if they were high in the ratings, low in the ratings, medium, whatever, it was always about the people in that. And there are still really good people over there. Like,
And Paulie,
for example,
you
Tony, I'm
mentioned,
gonna-
yeah, go
I
ahead.
was going to real quick. I was just going to give an example. I was going to name a name that none of our listeners would know, but this is like one of the quality kind of human beings that's still over there. Remember Karen Ann Blasey? Karen Ann?
Yes.
One of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. In fact, I miss Karen Ann. I'd like to talk to her at some point, but she's still working over there. And it was always like that. Just great people. John Lund, Tom Tolbert, Murph, Tony, all of us. It really became like a little community. It really did.
Well, I was gonna say, like those Super Bowl week in Miami, it's like a lot of people wouldn't look forward to having to spend a week with your work colleagues, but that wasn't the case. We had a freaking blast all week long.
Freaking blast. I'll never forget this, by the way. Let me tell the audience final story of the night, then I'll dismiss the class. I know it's very late. Rags.
And I want to show a picture too. I want to promote Tolbert and Steve Young, but go ahead.
I got confused. I thought that was yesterday. Hey, Rags. You're a freaking machine. It's 12:30 a.m. in Jersey, and Rags is still going. I love it, Rags. Thank you for the support, by the way, brother. So Murph and I fly down to Miami. This is 2019. That was Tony. The first loss to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Not to confuse. You have no idea how much I fucking hate saying that. But anyway,
and by the way, I got a couple supers to get to when you're done. Just so you know.
So, and you guys, thank you for the generosity. So we fly down to Miami. We're doing our show. We're in Media Row. Murph and I are on the air. I get a text from Tony, middle of the show. I look down. He goes, "Paulie, I'm outside." I go, "What?" And Tony wasn't on the plane with us. He wasn't even on the plane. I still don't know how you got down there after all these years. I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. All I know is Tony showed up at the media at Radio Row. We got his ass a media pass somehow, and then we were just off to the races, dude.
That was all pre-cooked behind the scenes with me and management. I said, don't tell them. I'm just going to show up. Don't tell them. And my uncle Paul Tonelli too. Also, he was part of the plan as well, which is great.
By the way,
we all had a great freaking
your
week.
Very famous uncle Shock Jock Paul Tonelli. What are the odds of him joining us on the show at some point? What do we have to do? To write him a check or something?
He's technologically challenged, so we'll have to get him. We'll get him involved. We'll get him because like back in the day, he's used to my uncle Paul loves to drive. He drives to he just drove to Vegas for the WCC tournament and drove back, and he calls me on the drive there. Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, you must be driving to Vegas. And so
you want to kill an hour,
but he's great because he's on the phone, and you get him on the phone. The whole video, it's the whole video aspect that old radio heads are trying to adjust to. So we'll get him well adjusted.
It's funny. There's another good friend of ours. Wait, is Paulie hitting that Pacifico like Bill Clinton hitting that? Well, I've inhaled it enough that the bottle's empty, so I inhaled something. Yeah.
Hey, Ian, thank you for the super. Dude. Thank you so much.
And
man.
I asked before, but I'm going to ask again. Ian, any relation to Scott, the late Scott Weiland?
Scott Weiland. That's right.
I asked John Joseph if he was related to the Crow Magic singer John Joseph. The answer was no. But now John Joseph and I we're off to the races. I look forward to you meeting John Joseph, Tony, at on 327. That's my boy. But Ian, no, thanks so much, dude, for the contribution. Hope to see you on 327 as well. Tony, I feel like I don't want to over. Here's another one.
Stand by.
I need more Al Davis. Oh, confession tense. Yeah. Okay. Joe Lacob saying anything. Okay. Tony, give me a topic and I'll give you a Lacob. I don't know. Real quick. I'll
Kaminga coming back tomorrow.
That's right. God damn it. I've been on the phone all day with Kaminga's surgeon. He's A-okay. He's been cleared to play. You know what I mean? Let me cook up some stuff. I'm running out of gas tonight, DC, but I appreciate
it's all good.
I
man.
appreciate the donation and plenty of Al Davis coming your way, brother. Plenty. In fact, tomorrow we'll see you at 11 a.m. for Polymac Particles. Friday, we're going to have a special conversation with Rod Brooks. And if you're just joining us or you are wondering where the hell Patrick Connor, why we had him, not John Lund, if you missed the beginning of the show, Pecan is out sick. He really is. He got sick. He took the day off from work. He was home in bed. And I was like, Pat, just get better, bro. We'll do it next Wednesday. So Pecan, the return of Pecan will occur next Wednesday, but it was great talking to John Lund tonight, dude.
And just like I told you before, like John and I were trying to find a day because John broadcasts. He's such a pro, dude. You'll see John, like he's just a pro. When news breaks, John's going to drop a show. So it was great to have John because his schedule's busy. And so it was great to finally have a window. I'm like, hey, dude, John, I know this is last minute, dude, but any chance you can come on? He's like, yes. I'm like, beautiful. So it's great to have John on today.
And you were talking about him being a great wingman, Tony. I just want to say, what I love about Johnny Lund is his vibe. His vibe is always positive. His vibe is always pleasant. There's a lot of comedy with that kid. And we'll do it again. We'll have him on again soon, too.
Hey, on that note, speaking of the Bay Area Sports Collective, tomorrow morning, the conversation that Tom Tolbert had in Steve Young's backyard with obviously Steve Young. They're going to drop that tomorrow. Dan Ogden, the producer for the Tom Tolbert show, was on our comment line earlier, and he was just checking in. He was shucking it back and forth with some of the PMP Army. But they're going to drop that tomorrow morning. And I wanted to show you a picture on my phone. This isn't the best, but here's a picture that Dan sent me yesterday of Steve and Tom.
Nice.
In their
I can
backyard.
see that. It looks good. Keep it right there. Keep it right there. That's a very clear shot, actually. Yeah, dude.
Isn't that cool?
And John Lund wasn't kidding. It looks like they're in the jungles of Vietnam or something with the palm trees. It's very lush, very lush. By the way, Steve Young, one of the greatest radio interviews in the history of the world. And Tony, also one of the greatest, like, Hall of Fame caliber athletes I've ever met. Could not be a freaking cooler guy. Steve Young he's a stand-up guy like you read about. And by the way, trivia, I'm just going to let the audience know something here. That's Creative Tony's favorite Niner of all time.
I was just going to say, if there's one thing... There's a couple things. There's a couple things that Paulie and I don't. We agree on a lot, but we agree on.
What, that you hate Joe Montana? Is that what you want to talk about? How much you hate Joe? I hate those 4 Super Bowls. I know they're terrible.
Yeah, totally. I just hate Joe. No, dude. I love Steve and I love Joe. I love Steve. Steve, obviously, I'm a lefty snob. Like, I love left-handers because I'm a lefty, and also just because the way Steve played, with the tenacity that Steve played,
100%.
And I 100%. And then look at
that's why when everybody's like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's such a mobile." Bullshit.
No,
he's not a mobile. He's dancing around doing a little, all that jazz number on the side. Like, dude, Steve Young. You know what I mean? He's like,
jazz
and he's like doing all that shit. Dude, Steve Young. That's a fucking mobile quarterback right there. Tucking it, running around with no helmet on, for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Steve Young. Anyway, you don't even his resume, Tony. And I'm just breaking your balls, Tony.
No, of course. And his post playing days career has been just as incredible as his days on the field, on the gridiron, as they say.
The more Steve Young, the better. T.
All right. So you want to dismiss the Class B?
I'd like to. Yeah.
And hey, let's give some love to Longbridge on the way out too, huh?
Thank you, sir. Longbridge Pizza, our very good friends on 3rd Street, 2437 3rd Street. Stop on by if you're in the city. Maybe you're going to the Warrior game tomorrow night like me. If you're going to the Kings game. Only thing with my schedule tomorrow is I'm not sure if I can make it over there yet. But, Neil, if I can, you'll see me. Because I'm meeting a buddy of mine. Shout out Jeff Faust. I can't wait to go to the game tomorrow night with Jeff. Anyway, the laid-back vibe, the serious pizza, the chicken Parmesan sandwich, which I, again, cannot say enough good things about, and I'm not doing it just for the sake of doing it. It's awesome. If you like chicken parm sandwiches, get on down there and try one. Only on Wednesday. The Vinny's Gabagool, where they stack the deli meats up about, 6 inches high. That's a big commitment, that Vinny's Gabagool sandwich.
Totally.
Tony is partial to the square pizza, which I totally understand. We tried that also. It was really good. Last time, and then, by the way, the watch party on March 27th, we've been talking about a lot. That will also be the debut of the Polymac Particle Pizza, dude. I can't wait. Hey, Leah, are you gonna have a piece of the Polymac Particle, or only if it's gluten-free? Serious question. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Nice.
And then finally, Tony, your thoughts on Longbridge as we get ready to let our friends go for the night.
Longbridgepizza.com. Order online and pick for delivery or pickup. We heard that they deliver all across San Francisco. We heard that earlier tonight from Lily.
So glad to know that.
They have the meat lovers pizzas, and they also have their veggie pizzas too, man. They got the pizza jacker, they got the pesto, they got the mushroom. Then they have the Sophia, they have the Nico, and then they got the traditional cheese, and they got the traditional margarita too. And then they got the sandwiches. They got the chopped cheese sandwich. They got the smash burgers on Tuesdays. They got the chicken parms on Wednesdays. I think they're going to make chicken parm sandwiches for us on March 27th for our watch party.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give John Lund the information. I'm going to give Tom Torbert the information. We'll see if we can get the whole Bay Area Sports Collective to come out to Longbridge Pizza. But hey, and also their beer selection is amazing. I forgot to tell John Lund that. Damn it, because John likes good beer too. Their beer selection is fantastic. They're Pliny the Elder on tap, Bear Bottle on tap, Cellar Maker on tap, Original Pattern on tap. It's a great place to have a beer, great place to have some pizza, and listen to some great music from Steven's playlist.
Yeah,
that you can find on Spotify. So remember, Longbridge Pizza, so LBP, right? We like to say PMP at LBP. So LBP, Longbridge Pizza. The playlist, if you find it on Spotify, it's LXBXPX. So if you want to find the spotlight, the playlist on Spotify.
Thank you, brother. Well said. And thank you, Longbridge Pizza. We freaking love you guys, and we'll see you very, very soon for that Giants party. And also the ladies of the Polymac Particle Army, you guys are going to be rewarded. We'll see you on the 27th, because Don Peralta, our official art director of the show, he's cooking up all kinds of cool stuff. He's cooking up shirts. He's cooking up stickers. I'm telling you, get ready. You guys, this is no joke. Get ready. The merch will be set up. Tony, from what I understand, our conversation with Don Peralta, we might actually have a freaking merch stand at this event.
Yes.
A merch stand. Who
stand.
thought it would come to this? I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. And by the way, is it all for all y'all on the comments line? Regs knows what I'm talking about. Don't tell anybody, but I might have some unmentionables on my person at the party. So if we need to step outside for a second and just check on the weather, things like that, we turn the corner, nobody's looking, maybe a puff or two. I'm just saying it's on the table. Creative Tony.
Paul, if you turn the corner right around Long Beach on 20th Street, you're one block over. You're right at the bay. The bay is right there, so you can
enjoy the bay.
Nice bay breeze. Get a nice bay breeze.
Yeah,
and maybe enjoy the outdoors for a moment, and if you need a break from the indoors, so if you know what I mean. So that's all coming March 27th. In the meantime, we'll be back at you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Carlos De La Fuente is going to join us for a quick hit too, also for talk about flex funding, and then we got Rod Brooks on Friday. And then, hey, man, who knows what's going to go down with free agency? And we got Dubs hosting the Kings tomorrow. We got Curry going for 4,003. Lots going on that we can get into tomorrow too, P.
All right, Creative Tony, I love you. I love all of you guys on the comments line, guys and gals, I should say, guys and gals, men and women of all ages. You're all welcome in the particle community. And thank you guys for tuning in day after day, night after night. You guys have no idea how much it means to us. Really, it's like you guys are the show. So thank you so much. Tony, get some sleep, recharge that battery. I'll see you in the morning. Now it's time for me to take a little puff, give, and I will see everybody at 11 a.m. tomorrow on Polymac Particles. Peace, y'all. Have a good night.